that came up quite a bit. And like, yeah, I can talk about that on the podcast because there's so much that comes with it, but I could also talk about it right now. Nowadays, everybody's a breeder. Everybody wants to be a breeder, right? There is a very big difference between seed makers, pollen chuckers, and breeders. They are not the same thing. There is a big difference between those three people. Seed makers are people who make seeds so that they can run them. Maybe give them to their homeboys, whatever. They make seeds so that they don't have to buy seeds. They got two good plants, they want to cross them and grow the seeds out. They do it. Those are seed makers. Now, there's a very fine line between breeding and pollen chucking nowadays. Pollen chucking is taking other people's shit and crossing it together and then selling the seeds at a profit. Breeding is creating crosses, paying attention to the traits that the parents pass down, watching the progeny to see which plants carry which parental traits, making selections based on very strict criteria, hunting for specific things, testing your gear, making sure your germination rates are good, making sure the ratio of mutants is very low or none, making sure that herm rates are low, things like that. But paying attention to the progeny and making specific selections, stress testing and stuff, that is breeding. And that very fine line between the two comes in with breeders making specific selections, right? Breeders will take two specific plants that have specific traits and they'll cross them, whether it's hoping for something or using predictive breeding. Predictive breeding is using things like alleles and Mendelian charts to where you could take two plants, if you know those plants well enough, you can take two plants and cross them and you'll know what you're going to get. But a lot of people don't do that nowadays. I'll get into that another time. But breeders are taking, say they have a plant that's super vigorous. It grows way too fast. It gets too tall too quick, right? So they'll take that fast growing plant and they'll breed it with something that's slower growing